Welcome, Rebecca. We're excited to have you here today. Looking forward to learning more about what you're working on. So, why don't we kick things off? Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, what institution you're representing, what degree program you've been working on, and where are you from?
Yeah, hello. I'm Rebecca. I'm I got a degree from Oregon State University, just graduated last year, and I'm currently representing Willamette University, and we're working on Project Learn to Play. Project Learn to Play is building science playgrounds with the purpose of educating children about science in a way that's fun and interactive, as opposed to just reading about it in a classroom. And then where I'm from, I grew up in Los Angeles, California.
That's fantastic. Thank you. You mentioned we. Tell me who's the we. Tell me about your team. I'd love to know who else you're working with, how you got connected, and yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, so I am working, one of my other team members is from Oregon State University and bioengineering as well. Fun story, I was actually her learning assistant. She's 1 year younger than me. And we are working, or we had that connection. And then we also, like through Willamette University, found John, who has a lot more experience in like the entrepreneurship side and business side. And then Sarah, who's doing a lot of our market research for us. She's working remotely with us from across the country. And all of us came together. We all knew Elizabeth Larson, and she was the one who kind of was like, oh, here's this idea of this person who might be able to help you in this aspect, and kind of connected all of us.
So it sounds like Elizabeth Larson did some of the initial research, and now you guys are taking what she was working on and taking it further and continuing the research and taking it in a little different direction, and also adding quite a team. We absolutely love to see whenever folks get together from different programs, and you're quite the super team that you're from different institutions. That's really exciting.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. Can you share a little bit about some of the other folks that you've gathered around you to for support that are outside of the team to help further this project?
yeah. So everything from my dad, who's a mechanical engineer and has a lot of expertise in 3D printing and also on the side of structurally how we can build these play sets in a way that's safe. He's willing to let us call and consult whenever and possibly use his company's 3D printer and stuff like that. And then we also have a connection with OMSI and are looking into potentially like starting with a pilot playground in that museum. And then beyond that, in terms of network, we have our mentor, Tyler Hall, who's been super helpful, just giving us tons of resources. And yeah,
That is fantastic. We love to see whenever people really gather their community around them in order to further the project along. That's entrepreneurship right there. That's fantastic. What was the inspiration for this project?
yeah. So I love science. I mean, again, I'm kind of mentioned briefly earlier, I was a learning assistant. And so what that means in the context of Oregon State is a student who has taken the class, the next year they can go back and be on the teaching team for that class. So I have two issues of experience doing that and teaching science concepts, and I loved it so much. But also in that, I saw a lot of students who were just there to check off the box and get the homework done and didn't see science as fun. And that was really disheartening to me because I really enjoy all of these things that we're doing and learning. And there's a giant like stigma around STEM being this hard, difficult, arduous thing. And I think a lot of that could be removed if we change the way that we approach it and teach it at an early age. There's actually some research about that and how early exposure will increase interest later on.
That's incredible. I'm curious, as you've been working through this, it seems like a really big project to build playgrounds and have all of this additional content to disseminate and get inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers. What are some of the big obstacles or challenges that you guys have been working through?
I think one of the biggest challenges is our go-to-market strategy because there's our end user is not the person we're selling to. Kids aren't buying these play sets. And so we are in this weird place where we have to design it for the kids, but also design it to sell it to not even the parents necessarily, but community centers or schools. And with schools, there's another layer of complexity because the schools' money comes from the government. Maybe we need to apply for government funded grants and in order to fund building these playgrounds in schools. Maybe we should take a more Tom's model approach and sell playgrounds to affluent communities in order to afford building them for lower income communities, because that's kind of a tangential goal. Is there's the broader goal of teaching science to children, but then there's specifically underprivileged areas that don't have access to the same kind of STEM support, and we want to enable them to have that STEM support. And so there's obstacles in just kind of narrowing our scope to something that's manageable to start with and choosing who is it that we're going to sell this to. Are we selling it to affluent communities? Are we applying for grants through the government? I think that's one of the biggest challenges, especially because most of our team is engineers. And then thankfully, John decided to join the team and provide a little bit of that entrepreneurship experience and expertise. But it's still definitely one of our weaker points, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think that's a struggle for a lot of service providers and folks like you, is to say, you know, your customer isn't necessarily your customer, and who you're serving goes well beyond that. It really is a unique business model, and has a lot of fine points you have to work out. It's tremendous that you have, that John is as on the team, and that you're using your mentors, and it sounds like you guys really are building such a solid foundation. And hopefully Invent Oregon is helping with that. I'm curious, what inspired you to come back and be a part of a Willamette team and take this to Invent Oregon?
Yeah, I think Invent Oregon is just such an incredible opportunity. Like, I have no idea how to start a business or get anything off the ground. And I know a lot of my team is kind of in the same boat. Like, we know how to build things, we know how to explain like reaction in a cell. We have no idea how to take something from an idea and make it a reality in the world. And so I think Invent Oregon provides a lot of opportunities in that aspect of just how to start, and kind of gives us that like first handhold to start climbing.
It sounds like that's one of the things that you found exciting about it. What are some of the things that you hope to gain personally from your experience at Invent Oregon, or that you hope to achieve as part of Learn to Play?
I think really it's that I the concept of taking something from idea to reality. I think that like throughout the years of teaching and everything, I've kind of learned how to present an idea in a way that's understandable, and now I want to be able to present and learn how to present an idea in a way that is appealing and really gets across everything that I want to do with it. Because I think Learn to Play is a really cool thing, but I don't know how to articulate that and make my audience think it's a really cool thing. So I'm hoping Invent Oregon can teach me how to share the enthusiasm and start taking these ideas and making them reality.
There's no better way to learn how to pitch than to enter a pitch competition. That's fantastic. It's brilliant. This is a pretty unique project. It's an impact driven project. What are some of the important things you want the judges to understand about what you're doing here, and what sets you apart from your competitors?
Hmm. I think one of the biggest things is how long term it is. This isn't going to necessarily have an impact tomorrow. It will probably have an impact 2, maybe 3 decades down the road. And I think that long term change and impact is a little bit harder to grasp, but I think it's equally, if not more important, to be thinking about that long term. Because as we've seen, like the world has issues, it has problems that we need scientists, we need mathematicians, we need engineers to solve. And if we try to find a solution now, and that's immediate, it's kind of like slapping a band-aid on an arterial bleed. But if we can go figure out, okay, maybe part of the issue is that we're not teaching kids STEM the right way. And so we invest in these playgrounds now for the 4 and the 5-year-olds who are just growing up. Then 15 years down the road, we'll have people who are like engaged with STEM and excited about it and excited to start solving some of these problems.
That's absolutely incredible. So many projects, not necessarily that come to InventOR, but so many entrepreneurs and innovators really look at how they can make money off of something where you're saying, how can I change the world? And that is absolutely beautiful. And that really leads into my last question. As you are starting your entrepreneurship journey, which congratulations, what's become important to you as a founder, as an innovator, and what do you hope your fellow competitors also take to heart as they are starting their innovation journeys?
I think it's really easy to start out excited about changing the world and then get caught up in the finances and the mundane of the day to day. And I don't ever want to lose that vision. And I would hope that my competitors also, like from what I learned at boot camp, they all have these amazing ideas that have potential to impact lives in a positive way. And I would hope that they also continue in that enthusiasm and keep find ways to keep that vision like right in front of their face instead of getting bogged down in the day to day or making it just about money. Like making money is important, like the company has to stay functioning, but at the end of the day, I don't ever want it to be about just making money. I want it to be about creating a successful business that will be sustainable and that will truly make a difference in the world.
That is absolutely incredible and inspiring. And I hope that all of the teams keep that in mind and keep perspective as they move forward. Rebecca, thank you for being with us today. And huge congratulations on being a finalist this year. We can't wait to see what you guys bring to the finals and what is in store for Learn to Play down the road. So thank you again for being with us.